Well, great afternoon. I wanted to ask the cards about a message for the planet now. A message for the planet. And the first thing I got coming out is the swords. The swords are coming down. Painful truth. The painful truth. And when we get to the 10, you know, this is the start of the end and then coming to a new beginning. But let's see what else it has to say. That's what's driving this. These painful truths that are raining down now. Yeah, it's about that retreating mentality. Mentality in retreat. When it comes to the painful truths raining down and what is being offered. Now, is this what's being offered up now? Is this something to come? I think it's something, again, as we're facing this really difficult time where it just feels like we're being stabbed, okay, that we need to retreat mentally, you know, into meditation, into reflection, and see what is actually being offered up. So the energy coming into it is when we have these restrictions, mental restrictions. So that's the past coming. When it comes to the family, mental restrictions. When it comes to family life. And these changes coming, manipulations. This could also be in the positive, you know, as above, so below, bringing those things, better things into manifestation. Or it could be about the manipulations that's going on now across the world when it comes to families. So what's going on now? It's about the actions being done. Okay? Internal action, the change, what is one holding on to? Internally, when it comes to the changes being made. So let's see what it says here. It says the things being shared. Internally, making this change, the changes that you're holding on to internally, okay, and what you're sharing to bring about a healing through meditation, through that reflection for families, what's being shared, and when it comes to the wheel, karma, consequences for actions, okay? So the challenge is we do not like the harvest. The seeds that have been planted before are now coming to fruition. Okay? And as a planet, we are not liking what's going on. We're really unhappy with the harvest. And so now it's time to put out the message about changes, mental changes that need to take place, information that's being put out through meditation to families, again, what's being shared. And when it comes to the desires, the fulfillment, what is it that we want to bring about, the changes that we want to see, okay? So all of these things are on the table because, again, at the foundation we have what's being offered, the changes as above, so below, What is your consciousness? What are you manifesting here? We have the wheel, the outcome of actions, and we have the desire. What is the desires that we want? So what we have here, potential outcome, is a message, concrete messages being put out there to humanity now about our daily happenings, shedding light when it comes to the family structure, etc. Okay, the concrete, the daily happenings that we have with that, and the external happenings are about the lovers, about coming together rather than these internal struggles and fights going on with things up in the air. Okay? So rather than struggling with the things up in the air, with those close, it's about taking time out and making the changes that we want to see come into being. Because, let's go through this again. The foundation is what's being offered. The magician, as above, so below, or the manipulation, when it comes to the wheel of fortune or, the consequences of actions. So what is it that you really want? The desires that you have when it comes to the family unit, when it comes to, the concrete happenings that we have in a daily life for the generations. Okay? So it's about taking time out, mentally taking some time out, reflections, resting. Again, when it comes to the family dynamic, the emotional thing with that, and sharing some things that are of benefit, that are healing, with the message of light going forward, information about light. So giving more positivity emotionally in family structures, etc. And above it all, we have again the painful truth that is coming down about the restrictions we have placed upon ourselves, and internally taking that action, control, when we don't like the harvest, when we see these things, and so looking at the message about moving forward. So the very center of it, it's about what's being shared emotionally and as a message of information, and the mentality that's going on now. What you hold to internally as an action is, again, what comes out on the wheel of karma. About the things that you do, the consequences of actions. So it all starts out in the mental realm, and it starts out in the higher consciousness about the actions that you're holding on to. Okay? So we look at this harvest, and we want to make the change, so it has to come from higher consciousness, as above, so below. You need to change your focus in order to make these changes take place. Quantum, okay? And it's about when you're feeling this this restriction, you have to bring forward this healing information about what is it you desire, okay? Are you desiring the higher things, or are you caught in that hatred and the drama and all of those things. Now, if you want these changes to happen, then you have to change your mental restrictions that you have. So when it comes to the family, the emotional side of things, it's taking time out when needed to reflect and share something more healing. Again, look at where you got yourself tied up, and that's the manipulation that you have going. You need to change your thought process. You need to change the mentality to break free so that you can bring better things into manifestation. Again, the emotional drama that you have, the swords, the drama reflects on the things that you're doing, the karmic outcome, okay? And what you're offering up within your actions, the things that you're controlling, your actions, what are you offering up? So, when we come to the message, it's shedding more light, bringing more light into the equation of healing. You don't like the harvest, then decide what it is you really want and start implementing that. And it starts with the family unit and care for not only your own family, but the whole structure of society. So being willing to make that change, internal change comes first, okay? And the message, we have a message of information and mental message and concrete happenings about, again, your actions have consequences. So it's about looking deeper when it comes to the family structure and just the structure of humanity, all the generations of people, seeing this as one planet rather than us versus them, okay? So let's do a clarifying read and see what else it has to say. But yeah, it's saying, you know, you don't like the harvest, you don't like the way things are going, okay? Then you need to change the structure, and it starts first internally with your actions, the mental actions that then come out to the physical actions, okay? But it first starts out, quantum is about your desires and then what you're putting out there, what you're holding to mentally, and then the energetic actions that you're putting out there. Because everything here is energetic. There goes the fly again. So let's see what it says. Okay, so the center of all of this is, for the long term. This keeps coming out. We want to make long-term changes, okay? We have to understand the changes that we want to come into play. And it's going to take time. It keeps coming out. This keeps coming out and coming out. Yes, we're going to make changes, but understand it's not going to be a magic wand overnight. We need to implement these, okay? It's about what are we ready to build, okay? From the higher realm, okay? Having the higher consciousness, and we have free will to build what we want to build. So this comes from, again, within the world, the mentality, the information, okay, to bring things forward. This has to be done. It takes, because the feminine, okay, if you are looking at Hindu things, Shakti is the feminine. That's the transitory, the things coming in now, the movement of action, the movement of intelligence, as to knowing in intelligence what you want to build and bringing that forward, and it's going to take time. So rapidly changing the energy. The energy is what brings it in, okay? And that comes from the message that you're putting out to energy, the energy that you're holding on to is what brings about the change. Okay. And it's about, democracy, the internal emotions, okay? Again, controlling the emotions internally, and again, what you're holding to within yourself. Can you control the emotions? Are you there for democracy? Are you there for the lessons that those like Buddha or Yeshua ben Joseph brought forward? Okay? And bringing that forward, that message, the truth of that message, bringing it out to the planet, into that energetic persuasion to build something better. So let's see. So yes, it's about the message of that action. What are you doing? What are you holding? What are the actions that you're speaking of? And what actions are you taking? This is one that's already decided, and they're starting to move. Starting to bring it across the planet. Okay? Through those messaging, through what you're doing. Okay? And to end those mental restrictions. To end those things, those bondages that we have put upon ourselves with what's being offered up. Okay? So yeah, this is the path. The choices being made in life, the path, life path. It's the takeaway. Mentally, the takeaway. Now, some people see this as the card of theft. It can also be, what are you holding to? What are you looking back? What are you leaving? Okay? What is it that you're taking away from life experience, etc.? It's about, again, the actions that you're taking internally first. What is the actions that you want to control? Controlling the actions. And that has to do with a victory. Because what you have in that space of the actions, what you live within in the actions, is the takeaway and the life path. So when it comes to this fulfillment, you want that fulfillment of prosperity, etc., in the world, then it depends on the actions that you're doing in the world. What are you holding to? What are you doing? What is the light you're bringing forward that you're juggling? Okay? When it comes to the pain and the drama, so what are you holding on to in the world concretely or mentally? Okay? The mental pain that one's going through and bringing that into the generations, that we need to come into more of that serenity. Okay, meditation, serenity, back out of the mental drama to bring an end, and understanding that internally where it starts is having that everything that's ever going to come into manifestation is already in hand. Okay? It's already in hand. That's what you see. Zero balance. The divine is. It's empty, but it's full of everything that will ever come into manifestation. Okay? It's already full. It's already perfect. So we are the change. We are the change. And it starts with, again, quantum, understanding quantum. It starts with the consciousness, the energetic pattern that you're holding, what you are feeling emotionally, mentally, what you're putting out there is, again, as above, so below. What you're holding internally in consciousness above is going to manifest here. So the changes that have to happen have to come in consciousness first. You can't work on the bottom level and then try to change the higher. You have to change the higher first, and then it manifests into the more concrete. It has to start with the rarefied first, and then it becomes more concrete. So the change has to happen internally first. And then through the internal changes that you're making, the external changes will take place. That's the way quantum works. It starts first with the consciousness, with the energetic signal that's being held to, that's being lived, that's being put out, that's being spoken, the actions that you're doing. Are you doing actions that are affirming to people, affirming to the planet? Or are you in that rant and rage and drama and, the fight that's not beneficial? Are you there to heal the planet or to destroy it? We see those like Bannon is an anarchist, and their mental framework, the energetic things that they're putting out, the space that they live is about destruction. Okay? So that's why on this channel I am so, determined not to have that mental space polluted by saying World War III is here and it's never going to happen and it's never going to change and they're never going to do anything and nothing's going to happen to him. So what are you putting out? Is that really what you want? That World War III happens? That there's no ability to change any of that? Okay? So if you want the planet to heal, then that's what the mindset needs to be. Okay? If you're always in the space of waiting, okay, it's never going to happen, then what do you think that you're quantumly putting into manifestation? Okay? Endless waiting. So anyway, hopefully somebody's gotten something out of this somewhere. We have to see the planet as one people, as generations, that we're all interconnected, we're all related in some way, shape, or form. And we have to put out healing things, beneficial things to go forward, rather than going into depression and hate and vilification and all this other drama. Okay? This is not to say that we approve of anything that's taking place, these heinous things. Absolutely we're not. But we can't go into that mindset of doom and gloom and the hateful drama. because that's not going to solve, it's not going to make it better. Anyway, on that note, I'll leave that here. Let me know if this was beneficial or not, and we'll see you online.